In the quiet English countryside of the Staffordshire moorlands, a neatly preserved gravestone stands proudly in a village churchyard. It marks the resting place of Billing, a local man who had the most remarkable life. William Billing was born in 1679, not in a house, but as the stone records, in a cornfield at Cornfield Head, just outside the village of Longnor, near the town of Buxton in the Staffordshire moorlands. At the age of 23, he enlisted as a soldier in the British Army, beginning a career that would carry him far from the Staffordshire hills and across oceans and continents. His first military campaign came in 1704, when he took part in the capture of Gibraltar under Admiral Sir George Rooke. This strategic fortress, perched on the southern tip of the Iberian Peninsula, was seized from the Spanish in a bold naval and land operation, giving Britain control of the entrance to the Mediterranean Sea for centuries to come, with a legacy that lasts to this day. While we don't know which regiment Billy belonged to, military records were not kept in great detail back in the early 18th century. The majority of the combatants on the British side were Marines, so it's likely that he was amongst their ranks. 2 years later, he found himself on the battlefield once more, this time on dry land, fighting under the Duke of Marlborough at the Great Battle of Ramillies on the 23rd of May, 1706. Ramillies was a decisive engagement in the War of the Spanish Succession, where Marlborough's army crushed the French forces and secured much of the Spanish Netherlands for the Grand Alliance. There, according to his epitaph, Billing was wounded in the thigh, but survived and continued in service. This is remarkable in itself, as battlefield wounds were often a death sentence due to the high risk of infection, if not from the wound itself, through the crude and unsanitary methods of field surgery in use at the time. The fact that he escaped with both limbs intact and continued to live a long life is absolutely extraordinary. The inscription goes on to tell us that William later defended his sovereign's rights in the troubled years of 1715 and again in 1745. These were the years of the Jacobite Risings, attempts by supporters of the Stuart claim to the British throne to overthrow the incumbent Hanoverian monarchy. The rebellion of 45 reached as far south as Staffordshire, with the Jacobites marching through the nearby market town of Leek on the way to Derby. I recently covered these events in a separate video, which I'll leave a link to if you're interested. It's likely that Billing, who would have been the grand old age of 66 during the latter uprising, was more of a volunteer in the local militia at this point. Nonetheless, it's a testimony to his toughness and sense of duty that he would volunteer to take up arms in the depths of winter in the wild landscape of the Staffordshire moorlands. Things came full circle for Billy Billing, when after a long life full of adventure, he died on the 13th of January 1791, within 150 yards of the place where he was born. His grave was set in the churchyard of St Bartholomew's in Longnor, where it remains, fondly remembered to this day. The gravestone that occupies the site now is not the original, but was raised by public donations in 1903, a testimony to how beloved Longnor's famous son remained over a century after his death. The grave is still respectfully maintained by local volunteers and the Commonwealth War Graves Commission to ensure that Billy's legacy remains for all to see. We'll close with the same rhyme that concludes William Billing's epitaph, a soldier's couplet. Billeted by death, I quartered here remain. When the trumpet sounds, I'll rise and march again. A fitting farewell to a man who fought for king and country through a turbulent time in his country's history. I hope you enjoyed learning about this extraordinary son of Staffordshire today. Please remember to like the video and leave a comment below. It really helps us out, and I do love to hear from you. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more history and folklore from Staffordshire and the English Midlands. I'll hopefully see you again very soon.